Peter Magyar has won Hungary's election by a landslide. He says he wants to put the country back on track with the EU and restore the rule of law. For many Hungarians, the election feels like a real turning point.
This is something I will never forget.
We travelled to Budapest and spoke to young voters, journalists and experts. What challenges does Magyar face? And can his government deliver on its promise of a new beginning? We meet Emma, Mate and Sophie. All three live in Budapest. Emma is 19 years old and she can't remember Hungary without Viktor Orbán. Together with their friends, they celebrated on election night until the early hours of the morning.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was cool.
It has been a long time since Hungarians were this united and this happy and this kind to one another. This is something I will never forget.
The three of them voted for Magyar's Tisza party, just like more than 3 million other Hungarians. But despite their joy to see Orbán voted out, they also have reservations about the conservative Magyar.
For me, he is definitely a compromise. On many issues, I don't really agree with him. But something was needed to break out of this deadlocked system.
I don't think I necessarily have to vote for him again next time. But this time, he was my choice. I don't want to call him the lesser evil, but something like that.
With his two-thirds majority, Peter Magyar can change laws and amend the constitution. And he has big plans.
A simple change of government is not enough. We need to change the system, because our country was ruled by an organized criminal gang.
During his years in power, Magyar's predecessor Orbán increasingly hollowed out Hungary's democracy. He also repeatedly clashed with the European Union. We spoke to Marta Padavi. Based in Budapest, she's the co-chair of an organization working on human rights and says she knows what concrete steps are now needed. One key area, strengthening the rule of law.
Reinforce the independence of the judiciary, to strengthen anti-corruption institutions, to ensure that the many, many millions and billions of euros should be released to Hungary.
Magyar wants to get the around 17 billion euros which the EU has withheld from Hungary for years over rule of law concerns under Orbán. But his reform plans could face resistance.
The question is whether, for example, the head of state and the Constitutional Court, individuals who have been appointed, elected by Mr. Orbán, will be a constructive player or an obstructionist.
Because alongside weakened democratic institutions, this is Magyar's second problem. The old networks loyal to Orbán are still inside the state system. If they don't cooperate constructively with the new government, Hungary could lose valuable time. By the end of August, the country is supposed to present concrete rule of law reforms, including on anti-corruption measures. The third problem, Hungary's media. Journalist András Földes knows public broadcasting and many private newspapers are still firmly aligned with Orbán. He experienced firsthand what that meant for independent journalists like him. In 2020, a company close to Orbán took over Index, then the country's biggest independent news site where he was working.
We had two choices: to comply with the new leadership, and we knew that then we won't have total freedom, or we resign.
Földes and his colleagues decided to leave and launch a new independent news outlet, Telex. The fact that Orbán has now been voted out shows he was right not to give up, he says.
It's a huge relief for all of us. Our work had a meaning. We achieved something, which means that we could tell people the real news and they would vote accordingly.
Saturday evening, 1 week after the election. We are with Emma and Mate on Budapest's Marguerite Island, where many young people have gathered again to celebrate their country's new beginning.
Everyone seems so relieved. That sense of a new beginning is still in the air.
I hope people hold on to this feeling for a long time and that there really will be change.
that change has only just begun with this election. But tonight, everybody here is optimistic.